Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday morning, June 15th. I am pretty certain this video is going to be very disjointed and I'm going to stutter over my words a lot. So I'm going to apologize now. I have a lot of jumbled thoughts running through my head and I'm trying not to offend anybody, but I kind of worry that I'm going to because somebody's going to take this wrong. But let's start here. I watched a video last night. I believe his name is Jeremiah Babe. I don't necessarily recommend watching him, but it was about the real estate market and what's getting ready to happen with that. And I'm always curious about what people think about the real estate market because I work for a title company and I sold real estate for 20 years. So it is in my blood, whether I want it to be or not. And this is what I want to discuss the most, is we have like two thought processes going on in the world right now. Well, we have more than that, but the two that seem to be on my channel are we are getting ready to go into another Great Depression, or we are not getting ready to go into the next Great Depression. And this is what I would like to talk about regarding those who feel like we are going into the next Great Depression. If you believe that, then that means we as a whole did not learn anything over the last 4 or 5 years. Nothing happened. That means nothing happened that was good when Trump was in office. That means nothing good happened from the coronavirus and all of the things that we learned. That means that all of the hours and hours that I studied from, I believe it was like April of 2020 when I started deep diving into all of the conspiracy theories, when I started diving into all of the stuff that I did not know about and spent hours and hours and hours, I mean like 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours at night, and that doesn't even include what I studied over the weekend. That means all of that stuff that I studied means nothing. That means every quantum healing session that I have ever had done on myself means nothing, because that means that we are going into the old world system. If we are going into another Great Depression, that means that the bad guys still have control of everything. The Great Depression was run by the bad people. The market tank that happened in 2008 was run by the bad people. That means that nothing that's happened over the last few years didn't happen. I don't believe that. I do not believe that we did not learn anything from what has happened here. So that's why I want you to be very cautious about the people that you watch that are all doom and gloom. Remember when I said there was one gal that I like to watch, but when she gets on the sky is falling, I turn her off? I can guarantee you she has never heard of Alice & Co. I can guarantee you she's never had a quantum healing session. She may be awake to certain things, but she is not awake to the whole picture. And you have to remember there are various stages of awakeness. We've got certain people that we watch that don't believe that there are extraterrestrials either. And I question that, so be careful which side you fall into. And don't be so positive about what you think is coming, because I can tell in the comments, and this just cracks me up when I do like an opinion poll. What do you think? What do you think? There are 50 different opinions, and they all act like they think they know exactly what is coming. I don't know anything. I mean, I know nothing for fact. Well, I know a few things about myself, but other than that, I don't know what is coming. But I do believe that we are not getting ready to go through the next Great Depression, because if that is the case, then the bad guys are still in control. We didn't learn anything, and the last 4 or 5 years was absolutely pointless. I don't feel like the last 4 or 5 years of my life have been absolutely pointless. So I guess that's the main thing I want to say is be careful who you're listening to. And, you know, pessimistic behavior comes from childhood, in my opinion. My mom was very pessimistic about everything. She had a very small vision of life. And for the most part, I mean, I grew up with that. And I can remember in my 20s, I had made a comment to my first broker when I sold real estate. And she got mad at me. She's like, would you stop saying that? Because I had taken over that pessimistic attitude that I got from my mom. The movies, the TV, they all show the most pessimistic stuff. You know, the car accident, the this, the that. You know, I've done the best I can trying to reprogram myself away from that kind of stuff. I also had to stop watching a lot of the stuff that I watched, and I'm not talking about like regular commercial TV. I'm talking about the truther community. I had to pull back from watching a lot of that because I felt like I was almost being over-programmed that way, and that can be just as detrimental because nobody knows for certain what's getting ready to happen. And if they think they do, I think they're full of shit, to be honest. I don't know what's getting ready to come, but I do feel like we did learn something over the last few years, and we're not going back. We're not getting ready to go through the same shit that we went through, you know, in the past. So be careful of where you're thinking and where you're going and the things that you say to people, because you can be just it's just be careful. That's all I'm going to say. I know this is like kind of butchered up. I'm like, I had a lot of thoughts going through my head and I don't know if I got them all out or not, but if you're one of the pessimistic people that like to hang around on my channel, I'm just going to say, please leave. Because we are not of the same thought process. I have gotten away from the pessimism. I don't want to be around the people that are pessimistic, and I don't want that kind of bad energy on my channel as far as that goes, because that's not going to help anybody. You know, I'm like, if you think that's what's coming, then you didn't learn anything, and you need to go back to kindergarten and relearn the stuff that just happened over the last 4 or 5 years and get yourself caught up, and then maybe we can have a conversation. And I'm sorry if that offends anybody, but I'm just like, you know, there's one thing to be prepared, and then there's another to truly, truly believe that we are getting ready to go through hell again. But again, that is a thought process. That is your version of what might be coming, might be hell. Well, as far as I'm concerned, I've already been through hell several times. I have lost my house. I got evicted from an apartment. I've had my car repossessed twice. I've had to live in other people's basements. I bounced around from people to people to people for 8 years. I've already been through hell. I am not fucking going back to that. So if you haven't gotten the privilege of doing that, maybe you are getting ready to go through hell. But I learned my lessons through that whole thing, and I'm not doing it again. So that's what I want to say. I don't know if I got everything out. I apologize, but I'm just like, I'm frustrated with the people that seem to believe that we didn't learn anything. Anyway, I did. I don't know about the rest of you, but I learned a lot over the last few years. I don't plan on going back and not using some of the information that I gathered for a better life in the future. So sorry if you believe that and you want to stick with that, that is fine. Knock yourself out. You can watch all the we're getting ready to go into the Great Depression era videos that you want, but I think I'm going to stay away from that from now on and not even like pretend like that's an option, because you know, you got 2 roads to go down to. The one of where it's going to be better and the good guys win, or the road where the bad guys are still in charge and nothing has changed. Anyway, that's it. I'm done. I'll quit rambling. Thanks for listening and have a great day.